Hello all and welcome to Wow Crochet yet again for another tutorial. My name is Mary and in today's tutorial we are doing part 2 of the border of our double crochet V-stitch blanket. For those of you who are new to the channel, firstly welcome. Secondly, if you have not done the double crochet V-stitch blanket or part 1 of the blanket, both of those links to these will be in the description box down below. So go ahead, rush off, spend a few weeks doing the blanket and probably an hour or so doing your first part of the border, part 1 of the border, and then come back and join us to do part 2. It's quite a large blanket, so I can't fit it all into the screen at the moment, so I've folded it up a little bit. Okay, well, it's not extremely big, but it's a little bit big. Okay, you will need the size hook that you used to start your blanket and to do your border. You will need your scissors, and yes, you will need that pesky darning sewing weaving needle, whatever you like to call it. We're not going to talk much because we have done that already in our previous tutorial. So we are just going to get started on with the border. Now, how you tell the right side of your blanket to the wrong side, in this case, lay your blanket flat like that. And if you lift it up a little bit, your V's will be facing you. All right, I hope that makes sense. Let's lay it the other way and see if we lift it up a bit. The V's are facing that way. All right, so we want the V's to face us. These V's, these little things are V's. See, V, looks like a V. They're facing us. Now, pop your hook, in a stitch. We might pop it in 2 clusters, 2 double crochet V-stitch cluster sets. We're going to pop it 2 before. And this will help you understand what I mean by the corners when we get to them. You're going to pull up a loop, grab your little tail end, pass it over. It's probably too long. Let's make it a bit shorter. We don't want it too long. We want it long enough to weave in, but we don't want it too long. Okay. So we chain 1, give it a nice tug, and then you're going to single crochet over that same stitch right there, over your tail there. Pop your tail at the back. Now you are going to chain 2, 1, 2, jump into the next space, skip the 2 double crochets, jump into the next space and do a single crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2. Jump into the next space before your corner and do a single crochet. Now this is where it gets a little different. You remember you've got your 3 double crochets here. We are only going to chain 1, skip the first double crochet and jump into that next double crochet right there, the middle double crochet in other words, if that helps. Do your single crochet, chain 1 and 2, do your single crochet in the same space because that's your corner, chain 1, skip that one there and jump into, oh no, you're not jumping into there, sorry, skip your double crochet there and you're jumping into that first space. Okay, I hope that made sense. 1, 2, and now you're just going to do a single crochet 1 and 2 between each space. It's easy, yeah? 1 and 2. This row is such a basic row. 1 and 2, jump into your next one. 1 and 2, jump into your next one. 1 and 2, jump into your next one. And if you've done my double crochet 1, 2, if you've done my corner to corner blanket border for the corner to corner blanket, then this is pretty much very similar to that. Okay, except the corners will be a little different in this particular piece because we're doing double crochet V-stitch. So what I want you to do, and this is the best bit guys, is to do that stitch all the way along this side and meet me at that very first corner, and then I'll let you know what we need to do next. All right, here we are at the end of this side. So we're going to chain 1 and 2 and finish off our little double cluster sets there, double crochet V-stitches there. Oh, I split the yarn right there. Now 1 and 2, and this is the space just before your corner. So you're still going to do, and I've split the yarn again. Oh, this yarn is not doing me well, is it? It's not doing me justice at all. Single crochet in there. Now, because we've still got the 3 double crochets, we've still got that one, we need to chain 1, skip the first double crochet, and pop your hook in that second double crochet, chain 1 and 2, and do another single crochet in there, chain 1, skip that first one, and pop in the space next to it, chain 1 and 2, and then jump into your next section, chain 1 and 2, and the next space, chain 1 and 2, and the next space. We're going to stop there so I can show you what you need to do. And the best part is, guys, all you need to do is copy this for the rest of the row, and that's the best bit. So all you're doing your, whoops, sorry, out of frame there, sorry guys, I'm not even looking at the camera. Okay, you're doing your single crochet here, you're chaining, you've done that, chain up the one, you do 2 chains, single crochet, 2 chains, single crochet, 1 chain, single crochet in that second stitch of your corner, right? And then you chain 2 and you put another single crochet in the same stitch. Then you chain 1, jump into that very first space you come to, and then single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 2, all the way, whoops, across till you get to the corner. So all you need to do is that same stitch all the way until you get way back around to there, and I shall meet you up. All right, here we are at the end of the row. I have chained 2. We're going to single crochet in that space just before the end of the row, chain 1 and 2, and then we will just slip stitch in the very top of that single crochet right there. Pull the loop through and pull it through again, and then we do a loop through, then we pull it up, give our yarn a snip, and pull that thread right through, and there you go. So you have now completed row 3. So you've done your first row of single crochet and chains, your row of double crochets, V-stitch double crochets in that row, and then you've done a row of single crochet and chains, adjusting your corners to suit with the single crochet and 1 chain. Okay, so now we are going to start the very next row. So we are going to pop our hook just in a couple of spaces. Oh gosh, blow this up a little bit. A couple of spaces beforehand. Grab your contrast colour, which is probably the green in my case. I don't know what you used in yours. Okay, so I'm going to grab my green right there to suit. Pull a loop through. Pass your thread over, your short end that is, or your tail end if you want to call it that, and then you're chaining up, oh, get all fiddly with all these ends now, chaining up 3, 1, 2, and 3. And don't split the yarn like I just did. We are putting a double crochet in the same space, pull that thread back, and then we are putting 2 double crochets in the next space. Okay, excuse me everyone. Now we have that 1 chain space right there. We are still putting 2 double crochets in there. And what it does is it's filling out the corner a little bit for me, or close to the corner, so that we don't end up, so that the corner doesn't end up buckling or curving, if you will. Okay. Now in that chain 2 space on the corner, we are putting 3 double crochets like we did in that lower row there. We are putting 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and then we are putting 2 double crochets in that single chain there, and I'll explain all that when I show you in a minute. Then 2 double crochets in your next stitch, or next chain space, sorry, 2 double crochets in your next chain space, and so on, and etc., and the rest of it. Now let me show you something. So when you did that 2 double crochets in that one space, it's filled it out and made it kind of straight. If you didn't put it and you only put one, it'll start to curve a little bit. It's curving a little bit there, but not as much, okay? And at the end of the blanket, when we're ready to finish, we will actually wash and block this blanket, and I'll show you how to do that as well. Okay, so what I want you to do, and this is the best bit, what you've done here, I want you to do that all the way across to that next corner and do exactly the same thing. You put your 2 double crochets in there, 3 into the corner, 2 in there, and then 2 on, and so on. And it's exactly the same all the way until you get to here, right there, and I'll meet you up. Okay, here we are at the end of the row. As you can see, we have one little set left to go, so I will put 2 double crochets in that space right there. 2. Okay, and now all we need to do, remember these 3 chains from the beginning, right in there. I'll see if I can separate it for you. That's your double crochet, so you don't put it in that stitch, but that chain right there. It's hard to see the green, I know. So you put your hook through, pull a loop through, pull a loop through there, then pull one more loop through. Grab your scissors and give it a cut. Pull your loop through all together. Let's bring that out a bit. By the way, yours truly lost at Yarn Chicken. I had a thread right there. Look where it is. I had to add in that much green right there to there. Again, this is like the second time I ran out of green. I thought I'd use some of my leftover greens, but yeah, there you go. I got caught out with Yarn Chicken. Anyway, cutting a long story short, guys, you have now completed 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of your border. Okay, and now what you need to do is see this row and this row, these 2 rows right here. You need to repeat those 2 rows for as long as you want your blanket in width and length and whatever else, however big you want your blanket. Then come back to us in about, not this week coming, but maybe next week. That'll give me time to do my border as well, about a week and a half or 2 weeks away. And then we'll do a final row, okay? It won't be double crochets. It'll probably be a row of single crochet or something along those lines. But until then, just continue in the border to the length that you like, and I'll meet you up in about a week or 2 weeks' time. So thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell button so you can receive further tutorials in your inbox. And all I want to say is, ciao for now.